Good evening, everyone. Welcome to today's Rambam Shir, Perek Hichos Edus Perek Hey. Before we begin, number one, tonight is the first night of Hanukkah. We're very happy that today is Hanukkah. And of course, like you all seen, we all know what happened in Australia. We all know what happened in California. We all know what happened in many places in the world. Not a happy situation. So we're not going to say any fancy words. I've seen many people speak about what happened. I figure it's important to say something about it. So I'll address the situation. Not that I'm any professional speaker or anything. I'm just a new person here to this Indian over here. So I'm just going to say something real quick and short. In the year 1991, Tafshin Nun Aleph, there was a situation. I don't even know exactly how to say the story, but I'll just say it the way I remember it. There was a planned terrorist attack in America in the year 1991, around Pesach time. And somehow the police, the Israeli police or whatever, the Israeli intelligence notified the Rebbe, and they notified the Rebbe around Mincha time, and they told the Rebbe that there's a situation where Hezbollah wants to go and make a terrorist attack in many different places in the world at the same time. They told us to the Rebbe, and the Rebbe kind of shrugged it off, and then went downstairs to Mincha. And by Mincha, after Mincha, there was a surprise Sikha. This is Chavches Nisan Tafshin Nun. This is not the famous Koyach Nisan Tut Alts Sikha. This is 1 year before. And they spoke about the greatness of Pesach, the greatness of Chodesh Nisan, the greatness of the month of Nisan. There's a lot of miracles happening in the month of Nisan. There are two nuns in the letter Nisan, so it's referring to double miracles. Everybody's going on and on explaining Gematias and how the date fits in, everything works in. And everybody says this is especially in our times where people are trying to harm us. We have to get stronger and add in the Kav of Torah, Avodah, Chasadim, and through that, the enemies will vanish. Everybody said that, and people in Eretz Yisrael, when the whole entire world got very misguided, and they started adding in good deeds of Torah and mitzvahs. And a day later, it was reported at the newspapers that there was a plot to make a major terrorist attack in multiple locations at the same time. And B'schus the Rebbe, we know it's B'schus the Rebbe, but they said for some unknown reason, the terrorist attack got foiled. So why am I saying this? Obviously, we had a very tragic situation. And I guess the response to this is that obviously all the security people will have all their opinions on what security should be done. We're not going to speak about that. We'll leave it up to them. But at the same time, we also have security. We also have weapons. What's our security? What is our weapons? I'll show you right now. I'll show you just a few of them. This is one of them. This is one of our top security weapons right here. This is our arsenal. We have this. And what else do we have? And we have this. Everyone knows what this is. I'm just going to show you my name on this. But this is a talus and tefillin bag. Talus and tefillin. That is our arsenal. That is our weapons. That's how we fight. Our power is in our mouth through doing Torah, mitzvahs, learning Torah, doing what Hashem wants from us. And the more we use our weapons, the more times we use our weapons, and the more people use our weapons, the stronger it gets. So I guess my response is to what happened is to use this again and publish it all over. In many places as possible, and through that, like the Rebbe says in that Sikh of Tavshin and Aleph, not only does it help us, it also prevents future situations like that. It prevents negative future situations. That's my little comment on what happened today. We should hear only good news, and God willing, we should be able to speak about only good things, especially if the coming of Mashiach. Okay, let's begin with Perek Chamishi. Halacha Aleph. Ein chaytrin din min adin al pi dechad, lo yedin nefoshes, lo yedin mamonish, nemal yakum edechad beish, lechol ovein or lechol chatas. We do not establish a. By the way, I hope you can hear me with my mic. Please let me know if you hear me with my mic. Looks like it's on. It's on. I'm just not sure if it works. For some reason, I just have this feeling it's not really working. Gonna put that right back on over there. If that fits. Gonna put it back on. Yeah, we don't establish a case with one witness. If one witness comes to court and says, "Hey, doesn't this happen?" If it's only one, we do not, even though he's a good guy, but we do not accept it. Because it says, one person cannot establish a situation of an achet, an oven, or whatever it may be, to establish a case. However, he is powerful enough, one witness is powerful enough, let's say there's a dispute over some finance, and one person says, "You owe me money," the other person says, "I don't owe you money." And the witness comes and says, "Yes, you do owe him money." That's one witness. So he can't force the money out of this person, but he can make him swear. He's powerful enough to make him swear. Now swear that you don't owe him the money. That's the power. He has a limited power. There is some weight to his words in this scenario. In two scenarios, the Torah believed one witness. So there's an exception. Yeah, Saita is a situation where the husband says, okay, it seems like the battery is low of the battery. With this microphone, we're just going to take it out. Hopefully you can hear me because it already started. Let's turn off this microphone. Okay. So in the case of Saita, it involves a few situations. Yeah, when a husband says to the wife not to conceal with somebody else, and so there are two witnesses said that she did conceal, and so now they have to bring her forward to the Beis Hamikdash, and she has to give a carbon. There's a whole process where they erase Hashem's name, they put it in the water, and she has to drink it. And if she turns out that she had wrongdoing, she gets punished on the spot. So what happens if this one witness shows up and he says he confirms that she has done wrongdoing? In such a case, we believe one witness, and she does not have to drink that water. Let's see if we have let's see, where's that pasuk? Let's see if we bring up that pasuk. You see that pasuk right there? The Eid Ein Ba in Parshas Naseh. That is the pasuk which says, see, the Eid Ein Ba speaks about one witness. It doesn't say Eidim, it says Eid. So that means that we could use one witness for that situation. Same to Begla Rufa. I don't remember the pasuk right now, but there's another pasuk saying the Begla Rufa, if there was a case of murder and you don't know who is the murderer, so there's a whole ceremony that we do next to the river over there when we kill the cow, some calf, and if in that situation a witness shows up and says, "Hey, I know who the murderer is," so we don't have to do that whole ceremony of Egla Rufa. Like we explained in the place of the halachas. And also, so that is midaraisa. Those are two cases midaraisa from the Torah where it specifically says that one witness is good enough. Now, Chachamim says also, they add another case, which is edut isha shemeis baila, that if a woman does not know where her husband is for a very long time, I guess, and she wants to get remarried, she can't get remarried because her husband didn't divorce her, and he's not around to give her a get. We don't know where he is. So one witness is believed to say that he knows that her husband got killed or is dead or whatever, and then she could remarry. And that we believe with one witness, even though we generally need two witnesses. And by agunas, the Chachamim were that there shouldn't be widows not being able to get married. So Chachamim were mekel. They were easy on this, just to be able to, so the woman could be married. Halacha Gimel. V'chol magim she'ed echad moyel isha apostle came meidin. Any place that one witness is able to witness, isha apostle came meidin. Isha, which is generally not allowed, not trusted, or not allowed to, not qualified to witness, or apostle, or someone who is not qualified for, let's say he's a regular gambler, someone who gambles all the time, he cannot be a witness. So when in scenarios where we believe one witness, we could also believe these two other witnesses also, even though generally speaking we do not accept him as a witness. Besides for Eichel Shvua, which like we said before, that has power to force somebody else to take an oath that he does not owe the money, right? We can only accept, in the case of a shvuah, we have to have the actual kosher aid. We need to have a real witness, which potentially, if there's another witness, he could join with him and to be a powerful witness. Like let's say Shimon and Levi, for example. I just thought about it. Shimon and Levi, yeah? Yosef, why do Yosef want to separate them? Because he knew together they're very, very powerful. So each one on his own, they're also very powerful. But if they are together, they're super powerful, they can knock out the whole Mitzrayim. That's what Yosef, we're going to read about it later on. Yosef was really afraid of them. Didn't want them together. So, but potentially, once they're together, they're very, very powerful. So two witnesses, they need to be, to begin with, on condition that they could potentially testify, in this case, in the case of Shmuel. You need to have a proper witness. But any other cases, one witness is good enough. Why did Torah say 2 witnesses are believed or 3 witnesses? If 2 witnesses are believed, then for sure 3 witnesses are believed. Why does it say 2 or 3? La says shloisha kishnayim, to make 3 like 2. What does that mean? If you have 2 people that witness, and one of them turns out to be invalid witness for whatever reason, then the whole testimony falls through, and it's not considered a testimony. Same too applies to 3 witnesses. If 3 witnesses come with this, and one of them turns out that he's not good to be a witness, the whole testimony falls. Even though and the same thing applies if there's 100 witnesses. Let's say there's 100 witnesses. Even if it's if one of the witnesses is invalid for witness, or he is related to one of the other witnesses, the whole testimony falls. It doesn't have to make a difference if it's capital cases or finance cases. When are we talking about? If the all them holds, how does a group form? How do you decide, okay, there are 100 people, they're all one group. How do we decide they're all one group? Maybe they're separate. What makes them one group? Is saying one group of witnesses came with this, and if one of them was a family of the other, now they're all invalid. What makes you decide they're one group? So he's going to explain. If they all had in mind, let's say they were by a wedding, I don't know, or whatever, and they all decided they're going to witness the chuppah. Then, if you have family, I don't know. I guess maybe by a wedding you shouldn't think of that you come into witness. You just you come for the wedding. Don't think they come into witness. Yeah. Yeah. Generally, in a wedding or in case someone hit someone or stole something from him. Let's say you're walking down the street and it popped in your face. Suddenly you see it. So that's because 2 brothers were there. Now the whole testimony it doesn't work anymore. Just because there were two brothers over there, they didn't have in mind to witness. Meaning, if they didn't have in mind, then it's a problem. But if they didn't, then what is their fault that they happened to be there? Because 2 brothers happened to be there. Now everything it fell apart. Let's see if you have a picture for that. Here, for example, right over here. Do you see that? Can you see that? See, let's say you have two guys, Parashmira in Border Park, and you see some guys stealing from a porch. And the two guys happen to be brothers. Two Shmira volunteers, Chavayim, whatever it is, and they're chasing him, whatever that happened to him. And they're two brothers. So now they want to witness. Now what? Now what's going to be? What are you going to say? What is it their fault? They both Parashmira. What's their fault? Yeah, Verstehst? That's my little picture over here today. Okay, let's close that. Whoops, it's my first time using this. Let's see. Okay, we got that away. Let's see if we have another one. Maybe this one. Maybe this one is better.
Chop him!
What? You see that, guys? Yeah. So let's see halacha hey. How do you know if they're all together? One group, right? What determines that they're one group? If a lot of witnesses come to Beis Din, a whole group come, we tell them, they all come, they say we saw the guy stealing the package from the porch, and it's him, and we have to punish him, blah, blah, whatever, yeah? When you saw the situation, did you come to witness? Were you Parashmira? Or you just came, or you're just a spectator. You just wanted to see. Did you come to witness, or you just came to see? Any person who says, no, I just came to see. I just wanted to see. I just heard a commotion. I heard the sirens. I heard the cherry lights. I wanted to see. Okay, we say, okay, fine. Thank you very much. Have a good day. Go home. That's it. We separate them. I came specifically to witness. I looked to see. I saw all the details. I saw what he stole, from who he stole, what he stole, when he stole. I saw everything. In such a case, they stay here and you can be the witness. So now we have two groups. One group are the people who just wanted to see, and one group are the people who said we came to witness. Then we look in that group which wanted to witness, we ask them, and we see if there's any family members over there. If there's any family members, any people which are disqualified from witnessing, then the whole testimony falls apart. If one of them were cardiff, so we're talking about if one of them is a relative or he's puzzle for edus. Let's say they were all kosher. Let's say they all came in to witness. And when they asked them, and half the group says, no, we only came to see. But you saw, right? So at the end of the day, you saw. Since they saw, they are kosher to testify. When we're talking about kosher people, I'm saying they're eligible to testify because they saw the case. Even though they didn't have in mind to witness, but since they saw, that's good enough. And we could pass in a din based off their testimony, even though they didn't have it in mind to begin with to testify. They're the spectators, right? Halacha vav. This same too applies to a document. If you have a document, yeah, and you have many witnesses on one document, so if one of the witnesses was puzzled, or he was a relative of another witness that was over there, and the witnesses are not there. You just see the document, you see all their names, but you cannot verify what happened exactly when they signed the document. There is a bottle. If there was proof, maybe those witnesses say that all the witnesses that signed, we were there, they witnessed just for the purpose of witnessing. Okay, then we have a problem. If there's any relatives or some apostle, we have a problem, and the whole document falls apart. And if not, and if they didn't have in mind to testify, they just signed out of respect. They signed a document out of respect. Then, in such a case, the edus is good, because we just say, okay, fine. The one who signed out of respect, it wasn't really he signed, but he didn't really sign to witness. He signed out of respect. In the year 1776, the Declaration of Independence, there were 56, I believe, senators which signed the Declaration of Independence. I don't know if I'm mistaken. Let's see if we have that over here. Nope, let's make that a little bigger. 50. This is the Declaration of Independence, 1776. I looked at it and look at the names. Adam John, Adam Samuel. Okay, same name. Look lower down. Ellery William and Floyd William. Similar last names. Maybe they were related. Maybe there's a problem with the declaration over here. I don't know. There's some. I don't know. Maybe the Stam wrote it for covet. I don't know what exactly they wrote it for. I mean, like if they were as a witness or as a respect. So there are situations where people write date of birth. You see all the information there. You can look it up online and see how many people signed those documents and for what reason. So I just found an example of people signing documents. Many people, mass signatures on the documents. Yeah. Okay. Okay. So now what happens like this? So now let's get to the idea. What happens? What happened over here? We have let's say 100 witnesses signing a document. 2 of them are brothers, right? And we say if we determine that not all of them came to witness, they're just signing it out of respect for their declaration or whatever it may be. Why does the shtar hold? Because maybe the kosher Edom wrote down and they left on the top row for the top senator that he should sign. The most respected witness should sign at the top. And left that place blank. And then a brother of one of the witnesses came and he signed. He didn't even know. So, meaning it was like 2 separate occasions. Beginning, they signed it and it was kosher. And then he came and he signed after and he wrote without their knowledge. So we say it's like kind of like two separate situations. And that's why it's okay. Halach Zayin. Oh, some people hold halacha zayin is actually part of halacha vav, but here it's halacha zayin. Yeah. Afa pi sheha'ed shechasam b'tchila b'shtar hu apostle le'ashtar kosher. Even though the person later on who signed was not kosher for witnessing, but still because the shtar is still kosher. I guess because it was signed off was a kosher document. Later on, someone came and put his signature. Seems like if it started off kosher and it was signed kosher, it stays kosher. Halacha ches. Kol eid sheheid b'din nefoshes ein emaydi b'din zeh hanerag. V'lo yilamad elav lo yischus v'lo yichayva. This witness that came a witness, he can't come and can't give his opinion on the case. If you witnessed, you witnessed. Now, don't give your opinion over here. Not l'schus and not l'chayva, not for good and not for negative. And if he says, "Oh, I have a reason to say that he is innocent," we don't listen to him if he was a witness. Because one witness cannot give like a reason for this person to be killed. For good or for bad. Either way. Why does it say lomus? A witness which witnessed something that a person should die should not answer anything. He shouldn't start giving his commentary. He should testify and then be quiet. But in in finance situations, in such a case, it's called Eid Nes Dayan. He could become dying and he could get mixed. Oh, I'm sorry. No. Eid is dying. Sorry. Eid cannot become a dayan, but he can give his opinion. He shouldn't become one like a dayanim. A witness can never become a dayan, even in dinim mamanis. But he can give his opinion. If it's a case of midaraisa, where you really need an aid midaraisa, then the aid cannot become a dayan. But if it's midarabanan, if the whole case to begin with is midarabanan, then Eid Nasa Dayan. A witness could become a Dayan. He could wear two hats. Keita. Echot shehevi saget. V'am b'fon nechta. Hu u'shnayim noisin oisei lo. ונמצא כי נוטט ובייס דין וכן כל כיוצא בזה. So we have if somebody gives a get, it has to be given in front of 3 dayanim. So what happens if somebody comes and delivers a get from some other place, and he says, I witnessed that it was this bill of this bill was signed, and I testified that it was signed. Okay, now it has to be given to the woman. So he switches hats and he sits down. He witnessed in front of 2 people, so he could join those 2 people. Before he was a witness, now he could join them and he could witness how it is handed to her. Ta-dam! That is today's parak. Thank you very much for joining us.